Running shoes, running kit is clearly a really important part of your race day success. And on race day, you should feel entirely confident with the shoes and the footwear choices you're going to make that are going to help you get around that 26.2 miles. Marathon training involves a lot of miles, it involves doing a lot of running and spending a lot of time on your feet. So making sure that you've got running specific shoes that are suited to you, that fit well, that are comfortable is really important. Your kit choices, and then particularly your footwear choices, are critical to making sure that you arrive at the marathon injury-free and feeling like your body is not being beaten up by the hard miles that you're going to need to do in the build-up to race day. Lots of different makes, models, lots of different ways that you can assess what type of footwear works for you, but the most important thing is that it's comfortable and it's suited to your particular running gait. The key with footwear at the most basic level is to make sure that you're running in shoes that are running specific, that have got adequate conditioning and support, but also fit you well and feel comfortable. There are different things that we look for when we're looking to pick our running shoes. Some of us need a little bit of structure and support in our shoes that help control some of that natural movement that happens as our foot strikes the ground. Some of us don't need that, and we need a little bit more cushioning to help absorb some of the additional impact forces that your foot experiences when you strike the ground. Now, a good pair of training shoes will be robust. They will have a good amount of conditioning both in the heel and in the forefoot. Some shoes might have what we call a little bit of support, so a little bit of structure within the shoes that help manage movement in your foot as your foot hits the ground. Some shoes, like this one for example, even offer a little bit of extra weather protection, Gore-Tex in this case, to help keep your feet dry and comfortable through perhaps inclement weather that we tend to see here in the UK. As I said though, the most important thing is that they feel comfortable, that you feel that the shoe is working with you and you're not fighting it each time you go out for a run. There's always a bit of a teething period with a new pair of shoes, and you might need to change your socks, and you might need to just allow your feet to get used to the shoe and break the shoe in a little bit. But ultimately you should know when you first put the shoe on whether it's going to work for you, and the key is making sure that the sizing and the fit is right. That's absolutely critical. Good footwear gives us the protection we need to allow us to do that extra mileage and manage injury risk. Whatever it might be, you need to make sure that you are confident that the shoes that you've got are going to see you through those weeks and those miles that you're going to do. As we get closer to race day, you might find that you want to run the marathon in a slightly different shoe to what you do a lot of your training in. If that's the case, what you do need to make sure that you're doing is you're practicing with the shoe that you plan to run marathon day in your training as well. So one of the other things that many runners will now have access to are running shoes which have got a little bit more in a way of responsiveness to them. And in the modern world of carbon fibre based training shoes, it's been a bit of a revolution for marathon running in particular. So this particular shoe, for example, is definitely a race day shoe. And now, of course, race day shoe is still something you will need to practice with in training. But this is a shoe that's a little bit more specialist in terms of it's a lot more lightweight than your general training shoe. But it also has a carbon fibre plate that runs the full length of the shoe inside this thick area of foam. And the combination between this highly responsive, highly thick foam and that carbon plate gives you that extra propulsion when your foot hits the ground. It really feels like it kicks you off and moves you along into your next stride, which might be, if you practiced with it and if you feel confident with it, something that really aids you in that last 10 to 12k in the marathon. New foam technology that many different running shoes have got at the moment, and the carbon fibre plate, can really help just manage some of the muscle fatigue that can happen through the course of 26.2 miles, but they're also just super lightweight, really nice to run in, and can really help you as you start to get to the final stage of your marathon, not feeling like you're being weighed down by a heavy set of footwear. The wonderful thing about a shoe like this is it offers all of the protection, all of the cushioning, but in a very lightweight fit. It's not designed to do loads and loads of miles, so I wouldn't be doing huge volumes of my training in this shoe because that can become quite an expensive thing to do. Of course, the most important thing is that you practice with it, that you feel comfortable in it, and it's something that you know that as you start to get towards the end of your long runs, are still giving you the protection and the comfort that you need. Have a little think about perhaps different shoes for different needs. Perhaps you've got a different pair of shoes you do your easy runs in from race day. Perhaps you've got a different pair of shoes that you use on trails compared to running on the roads. Spend some time making sure that you've got the right range of footwear for you, and it will pay you back on race day. Good luck.